Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Sparkling Beauty Bee. If you're new here, welcome, and today's video is of course a little bit different and I hope it will be interesting. So today's video is something that I got asked few times on my Instagram if I'm going to get this new Huda Beauty Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette, because I got few similar questions, so I thought let's make a video and talk about it. What are my thoughts? Am I going to get it or not? Let's talk all about that. Okay, so first, when this Huda Beauty Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette just released, I saw her video and I saw the eyeshadow. At very first glance, I felt like this is such a pretty palette and well, I'm going to get this. But what happened later on, I changed my mind and now I feel like I'm never going to get this palette. And here is why. I closely looked at this Sephora website and I looked at the swatches and then started watching all other videos that other influencers were posting. I saw several videos, people doing makeup with this palette, people doing swatches and talking about it, and finally realized that even though this palette looks different because they have this kind of marble kind of swirl, few shades, they look different, but they look different at the palette. But when you actually swatch them, you don't see the marble effect. It is not possible. You look one single shade and it does the job similar to any eyeshadow, right? So it just looks beautiful on the pan but not doing anything extra. And then the only different thing in this palette is this in this left corner lower part, they have this almost like or jelly like eyeshadow, which is actually clear, and I don't really know what's the purpose. It's kind of a trend to have glossy eyes, maybe that's the purpose, but yeah, it has no color to it and I don't think it is something really interesting for me personally. And the way it looks actually doesn't look so attractive either. So yeah, overall I felt like I don't need it. The reason I felt so is because I have several eyeshadow palettes that are all nude and neutrals, has kind of a mauvey pink touch to it, and they look all similar to all these shades here. First of all, I have this small nude medium palette by Huda Beauty, and look at the shades. So these are pretty much the shades. I feel like they look similar to what I have in that palette. Definitely they have some more shades. And then I have this Natasha Denona Biba palette where I have all these neutrals. So I think if you have this palette, you don't need more neutrals. They have like plenty. And then I have this small camel palette, which is also brown and nudes. And finally this Tarte palette, which is my absolute favorite. I use it all the time, and this is this one. Look at the pretty shades, and I feel like when you swatch them, you can see obviously some difference from one shade to other, from the new palettes to these palettes. There are difference in the swatches in your hand, but when you actually apply them on your eyelids, they all look same. For example, I have like 25 or 30 palettes in my collection, but do you really see me very much different in each of my videos? No, I look pretty much always the same, but I'm using all different eyeshadows, but you know, you don't see much difference. And I actually personally don't see much difference unless it's a very dark brown and very light brown. All the brown pretty much do the same job. Like your crease, you're using some dark browns, and you know which dark brown, it doesn't really matter so much. If you blend it nicely and if the quality is actually good, it works. So finally, I just want to tell that if you have several different mauve, browns and nudes, these eyeshadows, this particular Naughty Nude palette is not going to look very different on your eyelids. It's pretty similar to all other. It will not actually look very different, but you can consider getting this palette if you don't really have much nude palettes in your collection, or maybe had in the past and those are almost expired, you need some fresh, you know, eyeshadow palette in your collection which are very much neutral kind of shades, so you can definitely check this out. Huda Beauty eyeshadows are always good quality. Love her shadow line. These are always very much pigmented and they works really well. Definitely if you want to increase your collection, or if you don't have much nude neutral brown shades, definitely check this palette. It's a really nice one, but for me personally, I don't see any reason to spend on this palette. The top of everything, this palette is 88 Canadian dollars, which is very expensive, and I just don't want to spend so much money on something that I already have, maybe scattered, but I have in my collection. So definitely this palette is a no for me. It's a pretty palette, but definitely I'm not buying this. I really hope I don't change my mind. Yeah, so that is everything for this video. I am actually trying not to buy any more eyeshadow palettes. Rather, I am just trying to focus more on skincare. I think that is more exciting, and that is something we all need, especially when we cross our 30s. We all need some good skincare. Okay girls, I hope you really loved this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit this notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye. For every time I have to ask you if you might